Hey everybody, and welcome to the first update of my training with OTA Elite Vertical Academy. I've done this program last year, I got tremendous results, so I started again in this off-season. And if you want to take a look at my training from last year and how I set my goals to start again, check out the other videos in my playlist, and as always you can find the link down below in the description. So the last 5 weeks have been the first phase of Elite Vertical Academy for me, the isometric phase or the so-called activation phase. In this phase you get to perform a variety of exercises with an isometric focus. So there are some exercises, the so-called iso extremes. These are exercises which look like very common isometric holds, but they are very harder because you have to actively engage your muscles in a certain position and not just hold the position. That's key for these iso extreme exercises. So here we got the iso extreme squat, and right here you don't just hold the quarter squat position, but you're actively driving your feet outside. That's key for this exercise to really engage your glutes in that movement. Now there are some other variations for isometrics like oscillatory isometrics, and also the main strength exercises like squats and bench press are performed with an isometric focus. That means you get to hold the lowest position of the movement for a certain amount of seconds before you get back up in that movement. Additionally, you get to perform some low-level plyos, some auxiliary hypertrophy exercises, and you're gonna work on your core strength and stability throughout the entire program. And the isometric phase is really tough and challenging as you progress through the first 4 weeks, especially the iso extremes are a huge challenge for me. But it's very important, and maybe even the most important part in this program, because it's all about laying the proper foundation when we're performing the isometrics at first. So first of all, isometrics provide a lot of benefits when it comes to tendon stiffness, tendon health, and that's extremely important the more explosive you become as an athlete. When you jump higher, run faster, your body has to be able to handle that force. And if you just start off jumping around in your training without some sort of preparation, many athletes might experience knee pain or similar problems when they first start. And this inhibits any further progress at this point. So I think it's very important in any program to start with a good preparation and laying a good foundation. And on the other hand, in terms of performance, isometrics will help you to improve your motor unit recruitment. And this is also a very important aspect because a lot of athletes really struggle to recruit all their muscle fibers for explosive movements like sprints or vertical jump. And although these movements are sort of complex when you break it down in detail, you have probably seen athletes jumping rather knee dominant. It's a bit of a simplified explanation. But the key is some athletes don't really engage the hips and glutes in that movement to reach their full potential. And this is basically the goal, to create force through your hips and glutes when you're talking about motor unit recruitment. So when I started again in the first week of January, I was really excited to get back to the EVA program, which has provided great results for me. But I have to admit it takes some determination to start again, especially with those isometrics, because these are, let's say, not the most fun exercises to do. But the important point is, once you realize the benefits, it's really the motivation to reach your goals, and that's what drives you to give it all you got in every workout. So this time the program felt a little bit easier for me because I was still familiar with a lot of the stuff in the program. I've already been there and also spent some time in preparation before. Another thing I noticed was that I was able to complete the workouts a little bit quicker than I did last time. And just like every good program does, the EVA uses progressive overload, so the workouts become harder through the weeks. That means, for example, the iso extreme holds, they start with some sets for a given amount of time, and as you progress you're gonna perform more sets, and eventually you will advance to the max time isometrics holds for multiple sets in the last 2 weeks. And really important thing is you progress in every modality, not just the specific isometric exercises, but also on your auxiliaries. On strength and hypertrophy you will add some weight, therefore you reduce the amount of reps. That's just usual progressive overload right there. One of the main goals was to challenge my performance from the last time I did the program, and this also helped me to really give it all I got in every workout. I tracked the numbers from last year, and on every exercise I tried to improve. That was holding the iso extreme a little bit longer, even if it just was for 5 seconds or so. To add some weight on strength exercises. It could also be an improvement in technique compared to the last time. And as expected, it was not always easy to beat my previous results. Every athlete knows it. Some days it's easy, you feel great and strong, but there are also days when you don't feel so good. But these days are just as important because you still want to give 100%. I always try to beat my results from last year, and no surprise, this was hard at times, but I made the decision to set a goal that is not that easy to reach. And this of course is always a very personal thing, but in my opinion having a goal which is tough and when you're not sure if you will accomplish this goal always brings some extra motivations for me to my workouts compared to setting goals which are probably a bit too easy. But that's just a personal thought and might work different for other athletes. I'm really interested how you think about it, so let me know in the comments, and I'm really looking forward to reading your thoughts about it. Now back to my progress. Week 1 went very good for me. I noticed some improvement in almost all of my movements. Fatigue was not a big problem yet and I could add some weight on all strength exercises. So definitely a good start to the program. Then when week 2 started I had to make some decisions how I would schedule my workouts. Because winter holiday was just over here in Germany, we could go back to playing basketball once or twice a week. And this leads us to a very important topic of load management when you perform such a program. And as we all know, as much as crushing your workouts, enough rest and recovery is just as important for your gains and to reduce the risk of injury. And with the EVA program, you already get to work out 4 times a week. That means you got 3 days a week for your recovery. So the usual schedule would look like probably Monday and Tuesday workouts, then on Wednesday we got a rest day, Thursday and Friday we're working out again, and have some rest on Saturday and Sunday. And I think this would be the best way to go if you're really looking to become a better athlete with the program. So this schedule is, let's call it a best case scenario. We have to keep in mind this program is typically designed for an off-season where you don't play other sports. That's the key point here. So just performing the program. But let's be honest, most of us will not just perform a program for 16 weeks. If you're playing another sport, no matter at which level, you still have practice, maybe once or twice a week. You're also working on your skills and other stuff. And even for me, and I don't even play in a competitive league with my team, we still want to play some pickup basketball once or twice a week. So the schedule might shift a bit, and now it will look like this. Like Monday workout, Tuesday we got a basketball practice, Wednesday workout, Thursday, oh finally we got a rest day. And then Friday it's practice again. And now you're running into a problem. No, damn, I got 2 more workouts to do. I'm already exhausted, so I gotta do it Saturday and Sunday. And here we are, we got just 1 rest day in this entire week. We got 6 days of high intensity stuff in a row. If you take time spent from Friday to Sunday, and then next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is also high intensity stuff with the workouts or basketball practice. And this was exactly the mistake I did last year. And I pretty quickly ran into some fatigue symptoms like shin splints. Fortunately, nothing serious. I could continue the program after I skipped some basketball sessions, but it wasn't the best option either. So what do we make of it? We don't want to skip our workouts. We also want to show up at practice every time, show some effort. Probably we're trying to prove our coach that we deserve the roster spot, earning some more minutes next season. And how to deal with the situation might be very individual for each athlete. But I found an advice from coach Nathaniel Morton, who is always dropping great content here on YouTube, very helpful for me in that regard. So he says keep high days high and low days low. So go all out on days with high intensity, but make sure you get enough time to recover as well. And this means the schedule could switch a little bit again. Let's say on Monday we put our workout, day 1 of Elite Vertical Academy. On Tuesday we also work out and then have our basketball practice later on the same day. This allows us to get our well-deserved rest on Wednesday, then work out again on Thursday, practice on Friday, and then we only got 1 more workout to do, so we put it on Saturday or Sunday, or even before practice on Friday. So this way we make sure that we still got enough rest days, even though we have to fit in a lot of high-intensity stuff in our schedule. And this worked really fine for me, especially in weeks 2 and 3. I felt way better than last year, even though I twisted my ankle when we played basketball for the first time again. It just happens. And some fatigue from the training program was noticeable from time to time, but that's completely fine in my opinion, and you have to keep in mind that isometrics are very taxing, not just on your muscles, but also your central nervous system. So I didn't try too many dunk attempts or any jump tests during the first 4 weeks, And I wouldn't recommend this during this training block because you're probably not jumping higher than before the program just due to the fatigue. The training sessions really became more and more intense in weeks 2 and 3 with the progressive overload, and at this point I was just looking to finishing strong in week 4, which would be the most intense week up to this point, and it's probably the most intense week of the entire program. And then week 5 is finally the first deload week in the program. So in week 4 I experienced some fatigue, but I was still trying to get the best out of every workout, and you really get to push yourself when you have to perform max isometric holds for multiple sets. This is very intense stuff, and beating my previous numbers was really hard at this point. But somehow I managed to get it, and I also improved in my strength exercises. Another issue was after some basketball sessions I was struggling with a bit of knee pain. This usually got better during or after the workouts, and having 2 rest days a week also helped me to recover. So right here, 4 weeks of very intense training are in the books, and I was really looking forward to getting my first deload at this point. Then week 5 is finally our deload phase, and in deload week you still got to work out 4 times a week, but the training is reduced significantly in terms of volume and intensity. You only perform a few sets of low-level plyos, and with strength exercises you reduce everything to around 50%, and there are no more modifications to the exercises. In deload it's all about performing clean and technically sound reps. At the end of my deload week I made some dunk attempts for the first time since I started the program. And right here I had some expectations because I remember when I did the program last year I felt a huge progress after the first phase. I had a great session after phase 1 last year, really felt bouncy and couldn't miss a single dunk in that session. That was kinda crazy for me at this point. This time I have to admit I didn't feel extremely bouncy, and I also struggled with slight knee pain in the session, but still I was able to hit some dunks and my best jumps were probably even a little bit higher than last year. And I feel like there's still some potential. And that's completely fine at this point, because if you're performing such a program like the EVA, don't expect to get massive results after the first phase. It's just about laying the foundation, and you get to put all the pieces together in phase 3 and later on in peak phase. But still, as I said, my best jumps were really good. I hope that I can also improve my average level at the end of the program. So I'm still very motivated to go into phase 2, which is the absorption phase with an eccentric focus, and I hope to get some more results in the future. This is also gonna be very taxing, but I'm looking forward to the next workouts. After phase 2 I plan to make the next video and provide you with some more updates how the program is going. And if you got any questions or feedback, just drop them down below in the comments. I'll try to answer all of them, and again I really appreciate all of your messages. So take care everybody, and see you in the next video.